make this planet a better place. And that's not the direction things are going at the moment. I've been listening in on your program every day, but a lot of these different blog talk radio stations, and it seems to be the candor of a lot of these broadcasting people that things are getting worse markedly, and there doesn't seem to be any solutions. So we're just about at the breaking point now where we need to come together and to put our differences all aside. I mean, all our color differences, all our language differences, all the differences that you can even consider really have no merit in considering the outcome of this next election and of this country's future. I don't like the way some people smell. I don't like the way some people necessarily look or behave, but I could actually call them my brother and sister if we're all in this fight together. So that's what we all need to start to do, is to realize our brotherhood and sisterhood here rather than our differences, so to speak.
Well, you know, that's what I've been trying to tell people all along. You know, you got the real hardcore Christian identity, which I believe are simply Zionists run in on the Christians to manipulate and control the Christians. And they want you to go out and kill all the blacks, kill all the Mexicans, kill all the Jews, kill everybody but them, kill everybody. And that makes them as evil as the Zionists they're pointing the finger at.
Yeah. Well, anybody that's going to talk about dividing any of us into any groups, that person right there, draw a circle around them, because they're a bad one.
We got now. Wait, I may have to disagree on that for just a moment, because sure. We have a circle. We have something. We have some people, a group of men, that actually stood up and fought the new world order of their day. We call them our founding fathers. They gave us a country, a constitutional republic, if you can keep it, as Benjamin Franklin said.
Right.
We'll give you this country. It's a constitutional republic, but the banks are going to come after you. The people are going to come after you. The enslavers, the people that control the drugs, the people that control all of the illegal cash, that control all the crime on the planet, to make you a victim. This is what we're facing. This is what we're facing. We're not facing just one race. It ain't just Jews.
No.
The Jews they've got the same choice as the Christian Zionist. Hey, you want to be good or you want to be evil. If you're trying to take something from somebody else, you're trying to rule over somebody, you're trying to tell somebody how they got to walk, how they got to talk, where they got to live, then you're evil. You marked yourself. We judge you by your fruits, and we got certain laws that apply if they enforce the laws. Right. Although what's happening now is the courts and the judges, they're in the pockets of the banksters, and so we're not getting a lot of justice. That's why revolutions happen.
Right.
And they know this is happening now. Just a few minutes ago, and I didn't record it, so I'm going to repeat myself. So pardon me on this, David.
No, that's okay.
Their reports are coming out of Seattle that FEMA camps have initiated. That FEMA, which is Homeland Security, all run by dual citizens like Janet Napolitano and Michael Chertoff, son of the devil Chertoff. And two independent witnesses, one in Sweden and one in the U.S., have confirmed separate interviews of a chilling form of remote electromagnetic warfare undertaken by FEMA, U.S. Emergency Management Agency, against civilians for kidnapping targeted individuals' minds, psyche, souls around the world through non-location technology, imprisoning them against their will in the bodies of U.S. citizen inmates in FEMA camps in the U.S. Now, this is new for me. I've just heard this, and this is coming out of this is by Alfred Weber of the Seattle Examiner newspaper in Seattle. They're talking about people captured, and in a way, I believe this is kind of what's happening in one form, maybe not quite as sophisticated as this, This is what happened with my accident, and with the current story that I'm following of Donna Taylor and her son Mark. The kid was shot at Columbine, became active, was on Michael Moore's movie Bowling for Columbine, and now is imprisoned in Arizona. They're being fed psychiatric drugs. I was fed psychiatric drugs. I was kept locked up for 3 months. Paul Pantone was kept locked up for 3.5 years. Mark Taylor's been locked up for a year. None of us committed any crime. None of us did anything. And suddenly I got a $750,000 hospital bill for 3 broken ribs. And how much is Mark Taylor's bill going to be? How much are they fleecing the U.S. government, the Medicaid, the Medicare, Social Security, and everything, by putting this kid in prison? And now here you've got 2 independent witnesses saying, yeah, we were locked up in camps too. I mean, we weren't even there. We just took our consciousness and put it in somebody else's body, for God's sakes.
Well, yeah, all this is possible nowadays, and more. And it's getting to be the time when we all need to be woken up and told of the consequences, so to speak, for our own personal actions. We're going to be facing this next election in about 1.5 years, and there's going to be consequences for an incorrect vote at that time as well, in all of our national heritage as well. So the key here at this time now is to wake up this entire populace and to tell them exactly what's going on in no uncertain terms, and exactly what they're going to get if they choose, you know, to go on that side of the road, so to speak, after this next election. I've heard many people make reference to the New World Order, and the New World Order, I don't believe, is actually here yet. I think the old world order is what's still in charge. It's been around for eons of time, and they're still trying to control us all, and they're trying to cut off everything we use to survive with, such as food or water, but also chemicalizing the air, and like you said earlier, the implants in our bodies, and brain radiation and whatnot being exerted upon our populace. All these things are all terrible parts of reality, but all these things could actually be done away with immediately if we all unite our vote and we all unite our purpose on the planet. See, Clay, part of the problem I have always felt is, and I asked my mother at a very early age, I think I was about like 7 or 8, I said, Mom, what are we all doing here in the first place? And she looked at me and she kind of puzzled, and she said, well, David, she said, actually, if you do a good job here in your lifetime, you get to sit on a cloud and drink lemonade for the rest of eternity. And I looked at her and I shook my head and I said, Mom, you don't know, do you? She goes, no, nobody knows. So I think that's part of the problem, is people in existence nowadays don't even know what is up for grabs, what is up to be had in this particular incarnation or in their lifetimes. And it's not all this new car and 7 kids and beautiful surroundings and whatnot. That's not what we're all after. We're after learning, we're after intelligence, we're after peace, of course, but we're after, you know, doing it the way we're supposed to do it. I mean, as far as getting along with each other and sharing and caring, we all want to do it in the right way, but nobody knows what the right way is.
Well, so, now that's part of this is part of the reason that I started the Free American, because I was so outraged at what the newspapers and the media were doing at Waco. My God, you know, and not only just the newspapers. Where were the Texas Rangers? Where were the deputy sheriffs? Where was the highway patrol? Why did they let the government come in there and kill 100 people? Why weren't they doing their job of protecting Americans? But worse than that, and not only was it, you know, BATF and FBI going in after this church. I'm not going to buy into the idea that we had to do that to save those 17 little children. We had to murder those 17 little children to save them from a child molester. Now, I'm not buying into that, and didn't buy into it. But they manipulate our minds. They try to tell you how to think, what you're supposed to do, and that's why Clay is such a radical. Clay is such a, and they'll even send in the good guys pretending to be Christian identity and all this, and they will try to put me down. Well, now Clay smokes marijuana. You're damn right I do. You're damn right I do.
I do too. I do too. Yeah. Well, you know, Clay, whenever you got like two rams that are going to battle it out, you're going to have some kind of physical occurrence there where one or the other butts the other one and knocks him back, and the other one may come back with another ram of his own. But in time, you're going to see one weaken and finally turn and walk away. And I think that's what's going to happen for all of us. We're going to see those bad guys get the heck out of here eventually, because, you know, their time is coming. They've been in power for a long, long, long time, and it's almost up. It's almost up there.
You know, that is exactly the whole subject material of the book that I wrote 40 years ago.
Well, you're just a little ahead of your time. That's
a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. You're way ahead of your time. But somebody had to come, and somebody had to stand up on the rock, and somebody had to tell the people what's really going on. Even if they're stoned, or even if they're, you know, kicked out of town, somebody's got to do it. Here's
what's interesting. You know, I wrote this novel about a character by the name of Solomon. I wrote it 40 years ago. I was in prison for marijuana in Texas, back when it was a life sentence, you know, to get caught with a joint. And I did time in Texas, and the novel that I wrote, my character was named Solomon, and he was thought to be the Antichrist by the Christians, and he was thought to be the Messiah by the Jews. And I'm sitting here looking in this computer screen on Blog TV, and just the way I comb my hair this morning, I'm looking at my character. I'm looking at my character. He had white wisp in his hair, and black hair, white wisp in his hair that made him look like the devil. And he wasn't. Not in my character anyway. So that has kind of evolved over 40 years with all the information I've gotten about the New World Order and the plans and everything else that's going on, along with the whole, you know, 4,000 years of biblical history. Yeah, it's turned into a hell of a novel. And
well, Clayton, I got to tell you, in the short time that I've known you, you are one of the few people that I've met in my entire life that I can say is a kind-hearted, considerate individual who cares for everybody, regardless of whether you even know them or not. I mean, hey, I can't see how any person on the planet wouldn't strive in their lifetimes to be more like you, because, hey, granted, you're a loner and you're a one-man band, but hey, you're the best sounding one-man band I've ever heard in my life. So I'm just telling you, you know, you've won some fans out there, and I'm one of them. So, you know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate more that I've been to your house. I've slept in your house. I've had dinner with you, and that means so much to me. You just can't even imagine. I mean, well, you have got it right, and this has been my life story, David. This has been my life story. My name when I was riding with the motorcycle clubs was Loner. Where you going, boys? I'll meet you there. I'll have the beer on the table when you get there.
Well, you're a one-man band, like I say. You stick out like a sore thumb, Clayton. You couldn't hide if you wanted to. They couldn't hide you in a hospital anywhere and stick you in the bed for very long because you'd be up and out of there.
They tried to do... Yeah, they got an answer for that, David. They got an answer for that. I woke up in the Barrows Institute, St. Joseph's Hospital, after being drugged for 3 months My sons finally made them take me off the drugs, and in 3 days I was up and walking and talking, but I was sleeping in a jail cell. And my sons came in and I said, why am I in jail? Oh, you're not in a jail cell, Dad. This is just a hospital room with little bitty windows. Son, I've been in enough jails to know what a jail cell looks like. This is a jail cell. Why? But, you know, the only thing is they didn't lock the door. So I could get up and go out and have my coffee, but I was still in a jail cell, just in case.
Well, they couldn't keep you there for very long, I'll tell you that.
They tried. Hi, Mr. Douglas. We got to give you this injection.
What?
I'm sorry. What is that? It's just a tranquilizer. Well, lady, I don't feel like being tranquil today, so I'm going to pass. Thank you anyway. You have to. I have to give you this injection. No, ma'am, I got the right to refuse medication. I don't know who you are. If that was Kool-Aid, it'd kill a horse. No, I'm not taking it. Go away.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is those peons at the hospital, they're all under direct orders from their supervisors, who actually, I think they get a call on the telephone and just tell them what to do. In certain situations, like your case scenario, I'm sure that somebody called them on the telephone and told them what to do to you. I don't think it was their own personal decisions, but that's the trouble. Is everyone is in this mode of blaming what they just did on someone else. You know, well, I didn't know it. I didn't know that was going to kill him. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't even realize it. It's like, come on. You're driving the car, you're flying the plane, you're doing it, you better know what's going to happen. You know, there's many people's lives in the balance here. But like I said, I was alluding to a few minutes ago, time is coming now when we're going to be entering into what has been called in the Bible the time of tribulation. And that's, tribulation is just having to decide, that's all. Have to decide what you're going to eat tonight, or what you're going to do tomorrow, or how you're going to cast your vote in this next election. That's what the biggest tribulation will be about, as the news comes out this next year, and the happenings are increased in their disastrous warnings of the future. But we're going to be entering, like I say, into this time of tribulation, and it's actually going to be kind of interesting, because people are going to start talking amongst each other, and talking about the facts, and talking about, well, what about this? What about that? And I've been waiting for this time of tribulation for a long time, Clayton. I think you have too.
Well, according to my people that I've run across in the world, this is my last involuntary incarnation in this plane. But you know, I think we've been through this. I mean, tell me a time in history. You know, we can talk about the technology, and you're right about this whole new world. I've got a film out called "No Such Thing as a New World Order," because the money changers that Jesus ran out of the temple, they are still with us. They just changed the name of the temple. They do that, you know. That's not a hunt rifle now. That's an assault weapon, and you know. So and our temple now is called the Federal Reserve, or the Bank of England, or the International Monetary Fund, or the World Bank, isn't it?
Right. Oh, you're right. You're exactly right. They just change names every so many years, and they hire new people to work at these new organizations, but it's the same old thing. It's all going into the same pocket, their pocket. And that's what's always kind of pissed me off my whole lifetime long. No matter what job I did, where I worked at, how hard I saved, I end up with nothing. It's incredible. You know, I mean, for a halfway intelligent, hard-working person like myself, they end up with nothing all the time. And it just amazed me at the way the rules of life have been set up nowadays to confound anybody that's trying to get ahead.
Well, again, you know, no time in history has it been easy to be free.
Oh no.
No time in history. And it's not now. The only thing that's changed from Jesus' day is our technology has advanced to the point that they predicted over in the book of St. John that Jesus predicted 2,000 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you know, Clayton, people talk about what they like to have and in life, you know, like some people want the different possessions, and some people want a beautiful woman, and some people want lots of children. I'll tell you, what I want is my freedom. If I got my freedom, I can find all the rest of the things around for myself. But if I don't got my freedom, none of those things are going to exist for anybody ever again without freedom.
David, what they have done, and this is as simple as I think I can make it, they have refined the art of slavery to the point that the slave don't know they're slaves. I'm not a slave. I can get up. I can go get my pickup truck, go get a beer. Watch. I'm not a slave. I'm sorry. It's called economic slavery. Your change are invisible. You pay and you pay and you pay and you pay and you file and you file and you file and you ask permission to take a shit. I mean, I've actually been busted in 30 miles from the nearest town for pulling over the side of the road to take a leak. You know, they tried.
That's hilarious.
It's true. It's true. Hilarious. I was 30 miles. I was going to. Somebody ahead of me wasn't nearly as good a rider as I am, and they crashed. And it was coming from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, just outside of a little town called Madrid in New Mexico. And this guy on a crotch rocket crashed. They were having a helicopter come in to get him, so they stopped traffic in both directions.
Oh my God!
And you know, so everybody stopped. I'm stopped. I'm up walking around. We're waiting for the helicopter to come in to evacuate the guy. And I walked over into the bushes on the side of the road, behind a tree, wearing my dogs to take a leak. And suddenly I feel somebody hits me in the back with a rock.
You know, any mother that has a child that has to take a pee or a poop my mom even pulled the car over and got us out and walked us down the ditch, and we used the bathroom down there and come back to the car and get back in. Police drive by and wave at us. You know, it's like, come on, what's going on? What is going on? I actually think that the people are getting so dang scared in these authoritative positions that they're doing whatever they're told to do by their superiors. And I know the police have.
Yeah. I want to stress that. You know, you get a lot of people on here. They're asking how much was the ticket. They gave me a ticket for you know, exposure in public. I went to court. I told the judge, first of all, judge, there's no evidence that I was taking a leak. You know, I was over there in that bush praying for the guy that went down on another motorcycle.
Right.
And the judge dismissed the case. Told the cop to go get a life and dismissed the case. So I didn't pay any ticket.
Yeah, totally. That was a good judge. That was a good judge. One of the few ones we got left. Well, hey, just a few months ago, I got $1,000 ticket for crossing a street on my bicycle with my little child in the carrier behind me, because I went across on a yellow light before it turned red, and the police officer pulled me over on a motorcycle and wrote me $1,000 ticket. I couldn't believe it. And it's just, you know, like I say, these police officers, they're just as good a people as we are, but they're under the gun too from their superiors, and they get orders every day what they got to do. In fact, they're given a box of tickets and told to go write these and don't come back until they got them all written.
Well, these are revenue officers. I mean, just think what they did back in the 30s, in the 30s. They made, or maybe that was even earlier than that, Prohibition. You know, they made all of our uncles, all of our grandfathers, a lot of them, they made them into criminals
Yeah.
bootleggers and moonshiners for daring to run their vehicles on something they could grow.
Right. Well, you know, Clay, we've talked a little bit about this in the past, and as I said on those shows that we did, in this next election, my platform is going to be a sweeping one. Not only am I going to sweep all the crap out of the house, but we're going to do some things in this country that we've done before in history, but we're going to do some new things as well. And part of the economic problem is we've been sold this bag of goods which says, buy this junk from outside the country, it's cheaper and it looks just as good as we could do it here and we don't have to do it. And for 30 years we've been actually believing this. Well, this is the worst we could do to this country's economic vitality and condition, and we've weakened it to the point where it's almost ready to collapse now. So in this next election, part of my platform will be to keep the money in the country. That means buy our own products, open new factories, and start doing it ourselves again. That's part of the big problem we're suffering, is the economics. And regardless of whether the bankers or whoever's involved, we as people got to realize we've got to do it ourselves, or else it's not going to get done. So what I'm going to be proposing is that we recirculate our money by purchasing the products that are manufactured only in this country for 7 years, and in this way we'll keep the blood circulating and keep the system back up to where it's running good again. You remember, 30, 40 years ago when we were the #1 in the world for production and #1 in the world for ideas and just #1 in everything.
We were, and back in the 30s, during the Great Depression, we skated through that pretty good. We traveled around the country on boxcars. We worked. 30% of our American population lived and worked on farms.
Yep.
So we were pretty much self-sufficient, and that was the whole plan about Liberty Villages. My Liberty Village plan. If you can make your own, live and work together in a little village. You got 12 people that run the village. You got certain rules. You grow your own food, and you use heritage seeds, not genetically modified Monsanto poison crap. Rat poison built in, and the rats are smart enough not to eat it, but the American people aren't. And
well, it looks too good. It looks too damn good.
Let me see here. I've got an asshole on the room. Okay, so we'll do that. Yes, asshole in the room. Yeah, he's just calling me names. All right,
How come he's calling you names? That's what I don't understand. All these people are trying to upset the donkey cart now.
This is the way they work. Oh, shut up or I will burn your house down, you fucking prick. You don't just wave your willy about through the blue. I believe you're fighting for the right to piss on the streets. Oh, come on. I'm in the middle of nowhere, you idiots. But this, come on.
Well, that just shows that, the individual's own attitude. That, it says in the Bible that 2/3 of the created angels ended up as demons. And I think from my own experience here on this planet, it could actually turn out the same for us. 2/3 of these created humans could turn out as demons eventually and be thrown in the lake of fire. So I put up with that crap all my life, and I've always been a little guy, and weaker than most, so I've had to stomach quite a bit of it. But they're going to be gone soon, and it'll be a day to truly be thankful for when we don't hear anybody talking that crap anymore around us.
Well, you know what though, I don't quite agree with it. I don't think it'll ever go away, because I think the battle for good and evil is eternal.
Well, it is. I believe you're right about that. But I'm just saying, this planet we're on should and will be the Creator's jewel of planets in the universe. we don't realize yet what we've been given here materialistically. We don't even realize what we have here. And but just a couple of years, we're all going to wake up and realize this, and then it's going to be a wonderful place. I mean, it's going to be a place where you can drive down the street and people will wave at you that you don't know, and people will welcome you into their house and have dinner with them, and you don't even know them. And it'll just be a place that's just incredible.
Well, wait a minute. What you just described is